It is yet another beautiful Vancouver evening. And on today's video here on Ice Hockey POV, I wanted to take a look at a guy that was supposed to be a first overall pick. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got two Shane Wright cards to talk about in this video. And yeah, we are kind of upping up the production quality a little bit, aren't we? We are putting these cards in protective slabs. These, of course, are not graded slabs. They're just cheap slabs you can buy at your local card shop for like $3 to $5 a piece. I have a bunch of these laying around, and honestly, I bought them because I didn't want to go through the effort of actually grading my cards with PSA or Beckett, because let's be real, a lot of the cards that we showcase here on Ice Hockey POV, they aren't necessarily the most expensive, therefore they aren't necessarily the most benefited from grading. Like these two Shane Wright cards, these are just two regular inserts from 2023-2024 Upper Deck Series 1. They're both from the same series, I'm pretty sure, so maybe not worth it to actually grade these. But there are some really cool conversations that we can have about these cards and about the player that is featured on them, Shane Wright of the Seattle Kraken. Now, this UD Portraits card from 23-24 is super cool. All of the portraits in this series had a very strange sort of medieval kind of twist to them. You had the player's head and then a really cool costume underneath that usually aligned with the colors of the team, surrounded by this really cool border. Of course, though, it's a flat trading card, so even though it looks three-dimensional, it's just a regular old card. On the back, UD Portraits, Shane Wright, you have all of his specs and the 2 points that he had scored in 22-23 with one NHL season. Wright skated in 8 games in his first stint with the Kraken in 22-23 after being selected with the 4th overall pick in the 2022 draft. He had scored his first goal in the NHL on December 6th against the visiting Montreal Canadiens. Now, that was really poetic because Shane Wright was supposed to go first overall in the 2021 draft, but the Canadiens, who had the first overall pick, went with Juraj Slafkovsky instead. Taking a look at this Star Surge card, this is a really nice one. It's kind of reflective. There is a pearlescent color to it the more that you move it around. Shane Wright, Seattle Kraken, the Star Surge logo on the side there. On the back of this card, it has some of that same info. After being taken with the 4th overall pick, Wright made his debut for the Seattle Kraken on October 12, 2022, netting his first goal at home against the Montreal Canadiens. Excuse me, did I say 2021 draft? Nah, 2022 NHL Entry Draft. The 2021 draft was the Owen Power draft. But this Star Surge card was also 23-24 Upper Deck Series 1 card material. Both of these cards are really cool. I thought I'd just put them in the holders for now. These holders allow you to stack them up really nicely, and I just love the sound effects, you know? Like the little clacking, the moving around of what's going on here. It makes for some really nice video and audible presentation. But ultimately, Shane Wright is a guy who had a pretty difficult time developing in the National Hockey League. For one, he was a player that a lot of us thought would make the NHL right away, but he didn't. And it wasn't because he wasn't necessarily good enough, but it was more so because the Seattle Kraken wanted to put this guy in a very interesting development spot. They allowed him to stick around in the NHL, scratched for 2 weeks straight, which allowed him to ultimately get sent down to the AHL despite being a teenager in the NHL. It was a very strange development path, and inevitably it paid off with him going over to the World Juniors as well as the OHL. He got sent down and then he got traded as well. But Shane Wright ultimately had this strange development path that seemed to be sort of logical at the time. Maybe in retrospect, it wasn't really the best move. Nowadays, Wright He had scored 20-something points this previous season after getting 40 points in 2024-2025. So Wright has been on a pretty strange development path. The Seattle Kraken haven't necessarily been the best, though, so you can give him the benefit of the doubt there. But ultimately, Shane Wright is a guy that was supposed to be a superstar. Does he still have that in him? I guess we'll have to wait and see. For now, though, let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about these slabs? What are your thoughts on these Shane Wright cards? And am I the only one that likes having your cards in these sort of protectors because of the sound and the clacking and just the overall premium feel of it? I ain't sending these to Beckett or PSA anytime soon, so just having them here with me in this format is already pretty cool. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments section. This has been Ice Hockey POV. Join us next time as we talk about more hockey memorabilia discussion. And I'll see you in the next one.